Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today, I got one more video of me before surgery. I'm going into surgery in the next day or so, but got some time, wanted to play some Magic, and there's a couple cool mono black timeless decks that have been popping up. So I'm gonna just show one from Untapped. I was playing this the other night. It is a best of one list in Mythic's 74 games, 73% win rate. It's a Waste Not deck. One Ring, Shieldred, Peer into the Abyss top end. You have the Dark Rituals to kind of fuel out Liliana's, Ashiok, stuff like that. I played this deck. I was pretty whelmed by it. Like, Waste Not's not a great card. A lot of the decks in best of one tend to be Hellbent or playing into their graveyard. So if you don't hit like a timely Go Blank, it wasn't that great. You are a little bit soft to opponents' Bowmasters. So kind of like the idea of being less combo oriented version of like the Necropotent style decks. So Elliot Dragon at the last big timeless tournament was playing this mono black devotion list. So notably the difference was in his list, 4 Necropotents, 1 Meat Hook. I'm just short a Necropotents. So in best of 3, you're kind of leveraging the Sunken Citadel Nykthos interaction. And then there's a cool interaction with this deck where with Necropotents, you can pay to draw cards, but Ashiok 5 from WoW, if you're to pay life while you have at least that many cards, exile that many cards from the top of your library instead. So you basically get to draw with Necropotents, but each draw trigger kind of gets rid of 2 cards, 1 into your hand, 1 just gets exiled permanently. And this kind of gets around the life loss element of it. The Ashiok tokens also care about things in exile. Its ultimate kind of works that way. This one's actually really got a lot of nice hate pieces. Leyline shuts off a lot of the breach decks, stuff like that. Karn for like combo stuff. Ashiok shuts off like fetching and stuff like that, which is all kind of cool. Dark Ritual kind of gets it going. And then you have a Karn board with a whole bunch of different answers in terms of artifacts. So I'm going to try out a version in best of one because I do like the idea of Karn and where this deck's kind of positioned right now. So the changes I made to just kind of accommodate best of one is I trimmed on 1 Ashiok here on the top end, and then the second Necropotence, I made it into another Fatal Push. Best of one tends to be a little bit more aggressive. We have things like Burn and stuff like that. So I want to be playing to the board a little bit more. I also got rid of the Phyrexian Tower. It just played another Swamp. You really are leveraging just Bowmasters and these tokens. There's not a huge amount of things to sack. The kind of tough part is what do we want to have in the Karn board? So we have a bunch of options. In best of one, you only get 7 cards. So thoughts are Graveyard Hate, that costs 0 mana. Grafdigger's Cage for any kind of enter the battlefield style effects, good against natural order, good against anything playing out of the graveyard. Pithing Needle for activated abilities. Karn, that you can use liquid metal, start blowing up lands and stuff. One Ring for card advantage. Wormcoil Engine for aggressive decks and life gain. Cityscape Leveler for just general removal. You could go Platinum Angel, but I think enough of the decks in this format have like Bolt and stuff like that that could stack. Chalice of the Void can also be played. I think that's a reasonable one, but I think we're like pretty good into the Storm decks, just given that you don't necessarily need to go with one. Between all the removal that we have Karns that can go fetch Graveyard Hate. We have main board Leyline, so as well as Ashiok. So I think we're okay, all things considered. So we'll give this one a shot. I'll link all 3 versions if you're interested in like the Waste Not version or stuff like that. And then we can kind of go from there. But usually when I just demo a deck, I just like best of one tends to be a little bit quicker. So we just show off a couple games of the deck. This deck in elements gets better in best of 3 because you get a full suite of sideboard in terms of the Karn board, but at the same time, your opponent then gets to bring in a full sideboard where you're playing a somewhat limited sideboard in the sense that you're usually not bringing in and out too many things in that capacity, but I'm curious to see how this one plays out. So double Leyline versus Lurrus, and then we have Necropotents. I think this is fine. We hope it's like the Breach deck. Could be Burn. If so, having access to March is pretty good. Okay, so Sunken Citadel here. Just have this enter as black. So this is going to shut off the descent, which is nice. So this is likely the version of the deck. I think we just do this now. I don't want them to get any surveil value. While they don't get the bonus, it kind of shapes up their deck, and I want to try to maximize this necropotence. So really what I want to find here is like a fatal push, something like that. Okay, so they're burn with the Stalactite Stalker. We have Kumano, so we're taking a chunk of damage here. We may... Okay, so they're going kind of all in. That puts us to 8. We're probably going to just have to gain some life this turn, actually. Because the concern... They get a bolt. Bolt puts us to... So that's 5... 6, so we're kind of dead. So I'm just going to hold this March, and then we'll discard the Ashiok as well. Okay, Lurrus to hand's nice. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Them doing this kind of main phase gives us a bit of information, which is nice. Love to draw like a Nykthos here. Hey, that works. So can do this. So we know they have 3. I have to kind of play like they don't have Bolt, I think. They have Bolt, they have Bolt. So that's 3. I can go maybe 5. Okay, Bowmaster's nice. We got Great Merchant for next turn. Oh, and we got the Fatal Push. All very nice options. And I can actually enable Revolt by using the Nykthos. So ping here. That's fine. That takes their whole turn. So add 2 mana. Could add 7. I kind of want to play this first. So that adds 7 mana. That adds 4. Five, and then just play the other tap blind, or I can set up another Nykthos here. Feed the 2 mana into it, gives me a couple extra cards, lets me keep another Bowmaster up if I'm interested in that. I think we do that. We hit some goodies here. I think here we just draw like 5 or 6. So one thing you can do, set a stop in your end step, because if you have March, you get that value. Okay, so this hand's great. Honestly, I don't think we need Ashiok, so we'll just discard that. So no bow, but I think we're in a good spot. They probably just like Lurrus here. And then the second Grey Merchant's lethal. We have so much damage coming through. So Nykthos with like the ley lines, even just the ley lines this game, we shut off the Stalker from getting a lot larger, which allowed us to kind of keep alive longer. Dragon Rage didn't get any of its bonus. Lurrus is basically invalidated. It's just a 3/2 lifelinker in this case. So we're using Gary's. Felt sweet. Reminds me of the standard days. Whip of Erebos back your Grey Merchant. Those were the standard days. My favorite standard was Innistrad, Return to Ravnica, Bant Wolfrun. If for the long-time viewers of the channel, my old arena name, Bant Wolfrun, my favorite deck of all time. We had Aristocrats, we had a whole bunch of cool lists. Okay, so Lurrus, we have Bowmaster, we have a Meat Hook, Double Karn. We need some lines, but I think this is fine. Opponent goes first. Name black, hopefully we draw some lines. The Meat Hook could be reasonable as well. How many lines are in this deck? 22. I may want another land, I think. So if this is like the Breach deck, then we just shut off their whole Breach plan, so then they have to win through the fairway. Looks like Breach. Smells like Breach. Well, that Breach is going straight into the yard. Interesting, they waited till our upkeep to do that. Okay, so we got Dark Ritual. I think we're just doing this. I could Bowmaster this turn, and then I could set up a Dark Ritual Meat Hook Massacre, which is nice, because they might bow to bow here. Gonna set an upkeep stop, because if they have another Bauble, then it's pretty nice. Okay, so we see Dashed Ragavan here. They did hit Dark Ritual from us. So a little punished, obviously, if we... This might just be Lurrus to hand. We go Intent. This could be Thoughtseize. Yeah. So, interesting line here of what they want to take. They could take Ritual. If they do, I'm just going to get Karn. Okay, so they take ritual here. Hide the Nykthos so they don't see that we potentially have more mana. Lurrus to hand. No sense of playing Bowmaster out there. March is actually really nice here. So I think we take the damage this turn. See what they do. If not, just March the Lurrus. Now they can kill their own Lurrus to prevent the life gain, but it's a card fewer. I could just fetch the One Ring. I could fetch Wormcoil Engine. I could fetch Coding. I think we do this. It shuts off the... Like, they can bolt anyways, but if they bolt, they bolt. We might just get the One Ring. I mean, do they beat Wormcoil? Probably not. Just get the One Ring here. Okay, I see Bowmaster. That's fine. I want to get this out because it starts building devotion for me. Can do this for one. Them taking a land off is fine. They usually only play like they might play the full suite of Thoughtseizes. I guess I messed that up actually because this was 4 mana. I could have kept these two open, so that's something to be mindful of in the future because you can have double Bowmaster with that line. And we lock them out. Another game, another dollar. So just being patient there. You're playing it like a control deck. The nice thing is like you're not all in on Necropotence in this particular build. I do think I maybe want another land. While there's definitely elements that we do like, I think maybe just 3 Karns and then play that additional land. Or we're 22 lands between ritual, stuff like that. I guess we're okay. Let's give it a couple more. It might just be like even Ashiok 3, play a couple fewer copies. Ashiok 3's probably got like the biggest range of just like Hoser to like if you could turn 1 it and then your opponent can't use fetch lands, it's really strong. Shut off their graveyard, a whole bunch of stuff like that, which is kind of cool. Playing number 7 Mythic. Let's see what they're on. If I'm gonna guess, it's probably Breach. No Breach. Opponent goes first. Think we keep. Might be wrong. So I have the option next turn to Demonic Tutor for assemble the team is maybe Sneak and Show. Do I play Thoughtseize in this deck? I do not. I think I'm just gonna get Necro. If I get Dark Ritual, that lets me keep up Bowmaster as well. But I need a kind of sustained card advantage. So I think I'm just gonna get Necro here. Sneak and Show. Yeah. None of my decisions mattered here. On the play, like they had the ritual too. I think that's fine. Like we had the tutor in hand, which could have found us any answer, but against that deck, we're just naturally gonna have a hard time. If they have like an early start, that was turn 3. Whereas like our way in that matchup is Karn for Pithing Needle. Our hand just didn't allow us to do that, and we would need something very quick. The Assemble found them exactly what they needed there. So against Lurrus, I'm going to mulligan this. This hand doesn't do much. I think we keep this. Not great, but it'll have to do. Would have loved if, like, we've yet to draw a Dark Ritual, like, and actually play it. We had it the one game. Okay, we have Bobble. Bobble on our upkeep. Seeing more of these like Stalactite Stalker kind of decks. Roxa here. So I actually think we trade the bow here if they offer the attack. So the thing is with Menace, I'm just going to go face because we have to double block here. But I think that's a fine exchange. Because now this lets me go Ashiok and just start exiling their yard. Especially with this deck here where they're playing things like Souls of the Lost. Really want to land here. If we can get a land or a Dark Ritual, it'd be really, really, really good. Wob, 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 wob. Stone Rain. I'm going to keep this on 4 for now. Interesting line. Think we get rid of Ashiok here. Rewarded. Gonna get liquid metal coating here. Keep that there. Doing this because if they have a third Croxa, I'm less worried about this getting hit. There was maybe a line where I plus this turn with Karn. So we see Ritual. Ritual. Lurrus to hand. Cast Lurrus. So my sideboard, I could get One Ring. I could get Cage. Karn dies though. Could take him off a land. Yeah, let's maybe just do that. I could do that, exile cards. Can't quite get the One Ring yet, which is kind of annoying. I think we do get the One Ring. So what you want to do is in the upkeep, if you target their land, it becomes an artifact, so they can't activate it. So here, what they're going to have to decide is they can attack Karn for the turn. Or they can attack Ashiok. But now I can start blowing up their lands. Oh, they had the Bowmaster as well. So that kind of gets me there. They're able to fetch now. A little unfortunate. I was going to say, if this last card is... we just do this now. Need to dig for like Meat Hook. I think just maximizing the amount of lands we have in play is fine. Karn for like Wormcoil Engine would also be good. Okay, so we do need to be mindful that they have this Goblin Bombardment now, so they can sack around things. Okay, so we get Karn here. So just seeing what we have. If I do this, it's 4, 5 mana. 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's like 1, that's 3, that's 7, that's 8. It's not quite enough. Because I can activate with the needle, but that doesn't do much. I could Cityscape Leveler, which doesn't do much. So I think we start here. Okay, Bowmaster's nice here. So I can Ritual. Start with Ritual. Play out Karn. I didn't want you to play Nykthos there. Karn goes and gets Needle. You get Wormcoil for next turn. I don't think they actually kill me. Goblin Bombardment. Set an upkeep stop. So we could have like done the coding on that, but that shuts them off there. Depending on how they attack here, they might just send everything at me. Okay, well, Karn's dying anyways, so let's just let this die. Gonna get rid of Bowmaster here. So now I can draw cards. I forgot that line. Oops. Hey, meat hook. So 7 here is kind of nasty. 8. So I do 1, 2, 3, 4. Fortunately, not enough devotion. 1, 2, 3, 4. That only generates 2 devotion, so not enough. Gain us back some life at least. Could have Karn the token if we draw another copy, which is nice. I do want to get Leyline out as quick as possible. Take 3 here. Taking a chance. Okay, so start with Ritual. One, two, go Leyline. Go Bowmaster. Go Gray Merchant. And then have access to Fatal Push. I think we hold off with the Fatal Push because the thing that gets me, I think, is another Bowmaster. We've seen 3 Bowmasters out of our opponent. Like, the way we lose at this point is Bowmaster. So we take 4. Draw Necro. Okay, so we can generate a lot of mana. So Nykthos here. Play out Nykthos. Demonic Tutor, Gray Merchant, you lethal. Boom! Getting it done. That was a really awesome game. Like, we navigated... Like, the Stalker's actually pretty scary. But just navigated it nicely, playing around a lot of different effects. We were able to leverage... Like, they double Crocs at us that game, too. They took out some of our early threats, but just kind of navigating the right hate pieces at the time. Finding it, like obviously if we start the game with a leyline binding in play, especially in this matchup, would have been great. But knowing when to kind of one ring, when to kind of play to the hate pieces, I think was a great demonstration of the deck. So I really like this one. Probably play it some more. Shout out to Elliot Dragon for the initial list. But let me know what you think. And like I said, going to be off for surgery, so we'll be back in probably a week or so. Might be sooner, depending on how I feel, because I'm just going to be sitting around, so I might do some streams, but we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Have a great one.